Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kahaloyim Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shai Basham, Rakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well. Salutations to the Akim and the four winds, preaching truth and sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever, right? To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel. Shalom, come back to the fold. Shalom to the sister Akwaf, listen and learn in silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson, right? This company sells passports to Americans looking for a tax break on their Bitcoin profits. Plan B Passport offers crypto-rich clients a path to a second passport in their pick of 7, right? So these are this thing says a world passport, right? Going into what? That new world order, right? And you're gonna have the global digital coin, right? Global passports, right? And I did a lesson a while back ago where it showed a global social security card, and I'm looking for it, but now I don't see it. But this has a social security program throughout the world. The 2019 regional volume for America was last edition of Social Security program throughout the world, published by SCA, right? They're making Europe 2018 Social Security program throughout the world, right? Asia Social Security program throughout the world, right? So these are all the things. So basically getting down to that one world currency, one world, one world order, basically, you know. Yeah, this is First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one, right? Going into new world order, that all should be one, right? This is the daughter of Babylon, right? Mostly, dealing with America, but NATO, EU, right? Dealing with the what do you call it? Amalek, the Khazarian, the Khazars. They're all, they're in cahoots into this new world order, right? Mystery Babylon, right? Which is not a mystery anymore, right? It's going to be destroyed, which is America, and everyone should leave his laws, right? Your laws, your money, one world social security, one world currency, some type of digital currency. I don't know if it's going to actually be Bitcoin, but it's going to be some type of crypto, digital dollar, right? On to the social security, world social security, right? that every right that all shall be one, everyone shall leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed, right? All the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, right? Because you're taking the RFID chip. That's you're consenting to the religion of capitalism, and slavery and the New World Order, right? You're taking on the number, the name, in the image of the beast, right? And sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath, right? So, yeah, this is Psalm 83, a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not silent, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. Be not silent, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies, right, in the Most High, right, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has enemies, right, which are the heathens, and you 2/3 make a tumult, right, which is going to be World War III, which is tumult, war. They're going to make war against the Most High, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head, which at one time, the world currency used to be the British pound, but they lifted up the head, which would be what America, right? And the world currency right now is the American dollar, which they're slowly taking the value from it. That's why Russia's not using it, and they're trying to make it like it's this political, but all that's actually part of the elite's plan to make things look like a certain way. Because if they wasn't a part of the same plan, there's no way that every nation would be with on the global lockdown with the same program on the giving people that thing. You know what I mean? So, but just one of these days, the Lord said in Ezekiel that He was going to put an evil thought in Gog and Magog, the king of Gog and Magog's head. It's going to be an evil thought, and it's going to be opposite of what the elites plan for it all to be. Because right now they're all playing the same game, right? So, they have taken crafty counsel, right? And they have those summits, right? The G summits, right? And Apostle Gabar always goes into summit meaning a mountain, and the mountain goes into governments, and all these governments come together as counsel against thy people and consult against thy hidden ones, right? Because you're hidden behind what? Black, Mexican, Native American, Puerto Rican, Guatemalan, Guatemalan, Colombian, Cuban. Those are the names that you are hidden behind, right? Because I think Elder Yashawamba makes a good point about how is it that these devils are the only one in the planet with a digital with a Slovakia with a biblical nationality. Biblical nationality. Slovakia. Biblical nationality. Right? There's 18 nations in the Bible, and they're saying that them being the Jewish, guarantees them to be in that land. So then that will make what there's supposed to be validity in the Bible. So if there's validity in the Bible, why are they the only nation that has a biblical nationality when there's 18 nations in the Bible? That makes all the sense in the world. How is that? Why ain't nobody saying something? It doesn't completely add up. You know? So this is that crafty counsel. This is how you are hidden. They have said, "Come, let us cut them off." Who? The heathen. The heathen have said that, right? All these other nations who are the enemies of the Most High and of the Israelites, right? Of you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, they have said, "Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Right? For they have consulted together with one consent, right? Which is the New World Order, one world government, like we had read, right? One consent, one world government, New World Order, right? One world currency, one world social security, right? They are confederate against the tabernacles of Edom, which is the self-proclaimed white man, and the Ishmaelites, which are the so-called Middle Eastern or Arabs of Moab, which is the Chinese, the Hagarim, which is Africans, Baal, which is Ishmaelites, and Ammon, which are Japanese, and Amalek, which are the so-called Jewish today. That's Amalek. And the Philistines, which are the Africans, with the inhabitants of Tyre, which is Africans, right? And these are all these different nations with one consent, which is one world order, one world government, one world currency, and one agenda to keep you Israelites not knowing what who you are and following, so you can get the name, the image of the beast. Why? Because they're changing the situations into basically it's crunch time. You don't have no choice, because the way things are going, you have to follow the digital crunch, the financial meltdown, right? Now you have to go into Bitcoin and all this other stuff and digital coins, because they're fixing the situation to be so. Now you have to trust in government, taking the number, the name, right? Yeah. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, right? Old, young and old, rich and poor, free and bond, right? To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? And Witchcomb says something about rich nations, poor nations. Oh, you can go with that, because there are rich nations and there are poor nations, right? You know. So yeah, it don't matter wherever you are in the world, whether you're rich or you're poor, whether if it's a rich nation or poor nation, or whether you're a rich person or a poor person, right? Free or bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, right, save he that had the mark, right? Going into digital currency, crypto, to the mark or the number of, or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that haveth understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666, right? And a score is what, 20? And 20 was basically 6 and then 60. So it's the number is 6. So it's the number of man, 6666, right? Which is the numeric barcode, or the numeric or the world scan code to sell anything, even if they sell it on Amazon or anything. When it's a digital code, it's the digital code that's within the crypto is 666. So Job 21:17. How oft is the candle of the wicked put out, right? So his whole rulership is going to be short and not long lived, right? They're bringing in their smart cities and all this other things, but the Lord said you were only going to rule a short space, and that time period is coming short, right? It's coming to that no more. The candlestick is going to be put out. And how oft cometh their destruction, right? How oft their destruction upon them, right? Babylon, right? At one point in time ruled. Medo-Persians ruled. The Greek Empire ruled, and and the second leg, then Rome, and then the second leg of Rome, which we're in now, right? You're gonna have to get put out, right? You know, even Egypt. Egypt ruled at one time before Daniel's dream, right? And what they got put down, right? So it says Yahweh distributeth sorrow in his anger. They are stubble before the wind as the chaff, right? Which is going to be the ICBM missiles that make this into a desert, into dust. Everything's going to be burnt with the storm, that the storm carrieth away, right? You're just going to be dust. Yahweh layeth up his iniquity for his children, right, to go into slavery. He rewardeth him, and he shall know it, right? You're going to know that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai ruleth in the kingdom of men, and more important, that you touch the apple of his eye, which are the Israelites. His eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty, right? Esau, you're gonna fail. The whole thing, the Illuminati, was it Lucifer, right? Which is basically going into the Illuminati. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How are thus fallen from heaven, right? Which is rulership of the self-proclaimed white man, or the Illuminati, old Lucifer, which the illuminated ones, right? That's what Lucifer means light bearer. They're the ones who's ruling the world, so-called bearing the light, right? Son of the morning, how are thus cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations, right? Went around the world, stealing land, doing whatever you want to do, gold, silver, oil, you know, right? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? You've been ruling, right? And your rulership is going to come to an end, right? Every empire who ruled, the Lord took them down. Who, because you're not the Israelites. You're always going to deal in wickedness. For thus has said in thy heart, right, which is pompous, arrogant, I will ascend into heaven, right? You're gonna have your international space stations. You're gonna have your what is it called? Space Force. You're gonna dominate outer space, right? I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh, right? Which is also the Israelites, right? Because we're known as the stars of Yahweh. But also it's talking about your international space stations. You making war with Michael and the angels in the heavens, right? Right? I will set also upon the mount of the congregation, right? Because you're in the land. You're calling yourself Jewish, and you're sitting on the mount of the congregation, right? You're sitting in the place of Israel, right? Right? You're saying you're Zion. You're saying that, you know what I mean? And also you got the Israelites in captivity. So you're sitting on above us. You're sit on above us. You're putting yourself up above us, right? In the sides of the north, right? Which we know, America is one of those places, the main place, which is Babylon the Great. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds and I will be like the Most High. See, and right there, you already you're violating. That's blaspheming. Like, like blaspheming to the Holy Spirit or something. You going too far. But thus shall be brought down to hell, which is the ground, to the pit, right? The grave, or a hole in the ground, or just to a bad condition, right? Evil just means a bad time, right? Right. So you're gonna be brought to a low condition, right? And the grave, because a lot of you are gonna get put in the grave, right? And hell just means the grave, to the sides of the pit, right? To a low condition. Right? They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man, right? Which lets you know that it's not talking about a spiritual demon, Satan, who's in a fiery place with a pitchfork tormenting people. It's a man, right? Which is your adversary. Your adversary, Satan, Lucifer, adversary, is a man. Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, right? right? In the quest for what? New world order, right? Yeah, this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people," which are you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you Israelite, who phenotype may look like another nation, but your bloodline goes back to Israel, right? Or you Afro Kuwaitis, and you know what I mean, you know, around the world, you so-called Afro, whatever they try to call you, Afro Kuwaiti, Afro Iraqis, right? You go back to Israel, that ye be not partakers of her sin, right? Which is getting into the chariots, Lord willing, you be part of the elect, that ye receive not of her plagues, right? Which is the ICBM missiles that's going to hit America and several other places around the world, but not all the world is going to be destroyed by that. For her sin has reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquity. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues, which are the ICBM missiles, come in one day: death, mourning, famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire, which is the ICBM missiles. For strong is Yahweh who judgeth her. So call Loyim Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim and the four winds, to the Israelite foreigners who have came back to the fold, who phenotype may look like another nation but go back to Israel, to the sister Akwaf listening and learning in silence, deaf to America.